Longford-on-Thames, 18 miles east of London, 8:49 p.m.
Come on.
Jimmy Cody was being a very naughty little boy, oh yes. He and his sister Laura were supposed to be in bed, not sneaking around a graveyard.
You're not scared, are you?
Of course not.
Jimmy had always been fascinated by the old cemetery outside their village. The marble tombs, the stone angels. Hardly anyone ever came here, except, of course...
Jimmy, maybe we shouldn't be here.
Don't be such a baby. There it is. See that metal gate?
Jimmy pointed towards an old mausoleum, overgrown with weeds. The door was slightly ajar.
It wasn't like this yesterday. I was here with Frankie and the others. We were playing, and then I saw it. Someone must have opened that tomb.
Jimmy and Laura went inside. They were in a small white room. A stone sarcophagus stood in the middle, and...
What's that?
I don't know.
One of the marble slabs on the floor had been pushed aside, revealing an opening.
Look! I think it's leading downstairs.
They peered down into the darkness.
Are you alright?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
That woman.
That woman? There's no one here.
Jimmy, let's go back. I have a bad feeling about this place.
Don't be daft. I want to have a look. Everything's going to be alright.
Oh, but he was wrong about that. Jimmy should have known by now to trust his sister's intuition.
Let me have the torch. Stairs. I can see the stairs leading down. Maybe it's some kind of secret passageway.
Please, Jimmy, don't.
Let's go.
Slowly, the children went down the old stone steps. Soon, the darkness swallowed them.
Please, Jimmy, let's turn back.
Have you been talking to Mr. Knock Knock again? You know you're not supposed to do that.
Shut up! Don't make fun of me.
Mr. Knock Knock, Laura's invisible friend. The psychiatrist said she would grow out of it, but she hasn't. Sometimes he showed her things.
I don't think we shouldn't be here.
Like that day 3 years ago when Grandma's wedding ring had gone missing. She always took it off when she was baking, but on that day, no one could find it. Later that night, he came to her in a dream and he showed her where it was.
Jimmy, careful! The steps, careful! Are you all right?
I'm fine. I just slipped.
At the bottom of the steps, that's where they found the ring.
Here, let me help you up. Are you hurt?
Of course not.
What is this place?
It's where dead people are.
It stinks in here.
Laura held her breath. The air inside the underground chamber was stale. It smelled, Laura thought, of centuries past. Stone coffins lined the walls. A thick layer of dust covered everything. She had never felt so alone. And when she saw it, she knew, by God, she knew that they had made an awful mistake.
Oh my God.
They entered a large chamber. In the middle was...
Look, that star on the ground.
I think that's a pentagram.
What?
And there are bones here. Animal bones. There, and chains on the walls.
Let's take a look.
Old, rotting leaves were strewn about the ground. Jimmy's feet carefully pushed through.
I don't like it, Jimmy.
Knock, knock. You're crazy.
Shut up!
He never saw the bear trap.
Jimmy!
The steel claws snapped tightly around his tender ankle.
Get it off me! Get it off me!
I can't! It won't move.
Oh God, it hurts!
I'm going to get help.
Don't leave me, please!
I'll be right back.
But when Laura Cody reached the top of the steps,
No!
someone had sealed the entrance.
Let us out of here!
There was no way out.
Let us out!
Laura, what's going on?
We're trapped! We're trapped down here! All alone!
Oh no! You're not alone. There is a darkness that is more than an absence of light. It's a living thing. It takes you completely. My name is John Sinclair. I work for Scotland Yard, Special Division.
Your skin. Why, thank you. Your hands are so soft, I can't believe it. So youthful. Aren't you sweet? What is your secret? A lady never tells.
The secret to perfect beauty has never been so easy. Victor Benedict. Forever young.
Nah, bollocks.
Oh, hey, I was waiting for the game.
Why? So you can watch them lose again?
Yeah, last time they almost won.
St. Bartholomew's Hospital, Smithfield, London, 9:24 p.m.
Why don't you make some coffee?
Why don't you make it?
Joe Hastings and Ed Wilbur were emergency room technicians at Bart's. They were watching the telly. It was a slow night. No stabbings, no car accidents. At least, not yet.
Looks like we got one.
Blimey. I'll get the station ready.
Wait, what about a coffee?
Some help over here!
The man on the gurney looked as if he had gone through hell.
Dr. Barlow, some help here, please.
What do we got?
Cardiac arrest, white male, early 30s.
What happened?
Police were bringing him in from Yorkshire, then he started to hallucinate. Oddest thing, he kept muttering about vampires.
Vampires?
Indeed. Whenever the police had a case they couldn't explain, whenever the darkness out there took shape, they called him the Demon Hunter. But this time, something had gone terribly wrong.
Pulse is dropping. He's not gonna make it.
Wanna bet?
20 quid?
Shut up, you two. Defibrillator.
Coming!
Charge to 120.
Ready!
Clear! One more. Charge 160.
Ready!
Clear, damn it!
It's not working. We're losing it.
One more. Let's bring out the big guns. 360.
Ready!
Come on, come on.
He's gone.
You done all you could.
Turn the machines off.
Yes.
It's never easy, is it?
What?
Losing one.
I don't get sentimental. What was his name?
Sinclair. John Sinclair.
Time of death, 9:29 p.m. God damn it. Anybody needs me, I'm taking a piss.
Rest in peace, Mr. Sinclair.
Longford-on-Thames, the Benedict Estate, 9:36 p.m. The lorry slowly edged through the muddy driveway towards the Benedict Estate, a large, old mansion guarded by private security and modern surveillance cameras. The driver approached the gate and leaned out of the window. Her face was coarse, and her dark eyes were gleaming in the moonlight. She pressed a button on the call box.
Yeah?
It's me, Agnes. I've got something. I need to see him.
Oh, righto. He's upstairs with her.
The Benedict Estate was like something out of a dark fairy tale. The lightning illuminated twisted turrets and the faces of stone gargoyles. The windows seemed like leering eyes. And behind one of those windows, Victor Benedict was sitting at his wife's bedside. He was a small, corpulent man. He had a bowl of porridge on a tray, scraping out every last bit.
Come now, my dear, just one more spoonful.
He brought the spoon to her lips.
I know how much you love porridge. Ooh.
Olivia Benedict did not particularly love porridge. She turned her head away. The lightning outside gave a brief, ghastly glow to her agonized face. Her skin was pale.
Oh, come now, my little lamb.
Victor Benedict leaned in closer. His smile was strained, and there was an impatient spark in his eyes. He knew very well that a pregnant woman should be eating her porridge.
No. It hurts. I know, my darling.
Her body had a sudden spasm.
Oh, dear. Now look what you've done.
Olivia Benedict's pregnant belly didn't look normal, not at all. It was swollen beyond any comprehension.
It hurts so much. Shh, my dear. It will all be over soon.
Victor Benedict put his hand on his wife's massive belly.
I can feel our little girl, our little darling.
We should never have done it.
Don't say that, dearest.
We should never have called him. He's the master of lies.
Nonsense. We're going to have a beautiful girl, our Elizabeth. Do come in.
Mr. Benedict, Agnes is here. She's got something for you.
Is that so? One moment, please, my little sweet flower. I'll be back presently.
Mr. Benedict.
The bony woman curtsied. She was standing in the hallway outside the bedroom.
Why have you interrupted?
My apologies.
Victor Benedict didn't much like Agnes. She had worked for his father before him, the man who first built the Benedict beauty empire. Victor Benedict had hated his father, always making him feel so small, so insignificant.
What have you got for me, Agnes?
Follow me.
All his father had ever wanted was a grandchild, and Victor Benedict apparently had not been man enough to deliver on that front, so he had taken drastic measures. The room where Laura and Jimmy were locked up was brightly painted and filled with toys, dolls, teddy bears, everything a child could possibly wish for. The night sky lit up, and the dolls and clown faces seemed, for a moment, demonically distorted.
Do you like it? Don't be scared now. Everything is going to be all right. This is my daughter's room.
You have a daughter?
Not yet. Oh, here. Look at this little thing. Cute, isn't it? I think it's a rat.
A hedgehog.
Ah, a hedgehog, of course. What a bright little boy you are.
We want to go home. Right now.
Ah, you see, that's a bit of a problem.
Just let us go. I promise we won't tell anyone what's happened.
Please.
I'm afraid you're still needed.
Needed? For what?
A sacrifice.
What?
Oh, Agnes, hush. Don't listen to her, that old biddy. How's your ankle?
It hurts. I think it's broken.
Let me see.
Ah!
Oh, dear, I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm afraid you're right. Here, sit down. Rest your foot. I'm going to make sure you get some food, and then we'll see to your ankle. How does that sound?
We don't want any food. We just want to go home. Right now. Our mum's going to be so worried.
I will call her and tell her you're here. She can pick you up. Let me do that right now. Come, Agnes.
Of course.
Don't worry. Mum's going to be here soon.
No, Jimmy. She won't. Don't be stupid. He didn't even ask for her number.
St. Bartholomew's Hospital, 9:40 p.m. The emergency room technicians covered the body of John Sinclair with a white shroud.
All right, let's bring him downstairs.
They wheeled the gurney along the corridor.
Hey, so young.
Hey, you owe me 20 quid.
Neither of them noticed the small, fitful movements under the white sheet. And suddenly...
I don't believe this! Hold him down! His eyes! Oh, God, he's seen his eyes! I can't hold him!
Source of extras, Maze via Indonum, Chaos Economy, Chaos Desiderio Meo, Chaos Mentis Meo.
Hold him down!
I'm trying!
Nurse, over it! I need a tranquilizer now! Give me a syringe! Hold him tight! There.
10:12 p.m. The Benedict estate.
Do you like it?
Yes, sir.
Jimmy's ankle was bandaged. He and Laura had been given clean clothes, but Laura was suspicious. Why did the people in this house keep children's clothes? And now this food. Her stomach was growling, but...
Why aren't you eating?
I want to see my mum.
You're scared. I understand. But there's nothing to worry about, little girl. I like children. My wife and I are... Well, we always wanted a little girl like you, but... Here, try the roast.
He waved the fork in front of her mouth.
No!
You naughty little beast!
Benedict reached for a small silver bell.
You rang, Mr. Benedict?
Clean up that mess.
Of course, Mr. Benedict.
Neither Mr. Benedict nor his servant saw the little girl picking up the steak knife from the table. She hid it in her sleeve.
I know you're upset, children, but there's nothing to be scared of.
The pain only lasts a moment.
Agnes! Oh, good Lord!
What are you talking about?
Would you like to hear a little secret? But you must promise not to tell anyone. Do you see that painting on that wall over there?
The woman?
She's beautiful, isn't she?
The woman in the painting was dressed in an ornate 17th century gown. She had lush red lips, blonde hair, and dark, dangerous eyes.
That's Elizabeth Báthory, my ancestor. My family, well, they had to leave Hungary, but her blood runs in my veins. She used to be a great countess in the old country. Unfortunately, they executed her.
For what? For killing children. She used to bathe in their blood. Hundreds of them.
Agnes, it's quite enough. Don't scare our guests.
Is it true?
Well,
Báthory Castle, Hungary, August 1614. Elizabeth Báthory was being a very naughty girl. Oh yes, she knew very well that she wasn't supposed to be doing these things. She just couldn't help herself. And who was there to stop her? She had done this hundreds of times to hundreds of children. The girl was no older than 14. The Countess liked them young. Her own aging body was repugnant to her. But this... It made her feel young, alive. The girl had been suffering for hours. Her eyes were bulging with fear and pain. Her heart was pounding. She was praying for it all to stop. The Countess placed her knife at her victim's throat. The blood sprayed on Elizabeth Báthory's skin. But suddenly... The soldiers stormed into the room with swords and torches. Perhaps the girl's prayers had been answered after all. All things must come to an end.
Sometimes people are misunderstood. But you see, I think I found a way to make everything all right again.
What do you mean?
I'm going to bring her back.
That's not possible.
With faith, all things are possible. And you're going to help me.
No.
Agnes, perhaps you should teach them some manners.
The woman reached for little Jimmy.
Let go of him!
Laura kicked the woman in the shin.
I said, let him go!
She never had a chance. The woman was much stronger.
You little...
What?
He's awake!
St. Bartholomew's Hospital, 10:37 p.m.
Did you hear that?
Dr. Barlow, room 241, please. Dr. Barlow.
That scream.
Calm down. You must have been dreaming.
Where am I?
Mr. Sinclair, I'm Dr. Barlow.
I looked around. I was in a hospital room. I could hear the sound of traffic outside. I could hear every noise. But I felt alive in a way I've never felt before.
You've given us quite a fright there.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Don't worry about me.
Why am I here?
But no, you have to stay in bed. I need you to rest, Mr. Sinclair. Don't worry, we'll look after you. The food here is not too bad, you'll see. There'll be fish sticks tomorrow.
Sounds tempting.
You may have broken a world record.
Delightful.
You were clinically dead for 11 minutes and 10 seconds.
Are you serious?
By all rights, you should be brain dead. To go that long without oxygen.
What happened?
I was hoping you could tell me. You were admitted 2 hours ago. Severe septic shock, some sort of blood infection. You were hallucinating. Then we lost you.
A blood infection?
I've never seen anything like it. I took some samples. They're down at the lab.
Nocte Meridian.
Beg pardon?
I need to go.
Out of the question. We need to run some tests.
I'm sorry, Doctor.
Don't play games with me, Mr. Sinclair. I want some answers.
You have a very charming bedside manner. Did anyone ever tell you that?
You're supposed to be dead.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Nurse, get Mr. Wilbur in here.
Right away.
Let go of me.
I told you we need more tests.
Are you not hearing this?
What?
Those screams. A little girl. I think she needs help.
You're hallucinating. Ah, Mr. Wilbur, finally, please, take him downstairs.
Yes, sir.
No.
I pushed into him with the palm of my hand. He was flung backwards like a puppet. He crashed against a cabinet. I wasn't alone. It felt like there was someone, or something, inside me. I could hear whispers. I turned around and ran. I ran down the corridor, dodging the nurses and orderlies. Then down the staircase and out into the back entrance. The sounds were excruciating. It felt as if I could hear the fears and desires of the whole city. And there was something else.
Help me! Help me!
There he is!
Get him! I want him!
I turned a corner. I kept running. The two men were still behind me. The sounds and whispers were assaulting me from all sides. The lights of the cars were hurting my eyes. I could smell the streets. And by God, I could smell people's blood. I felt dizzy.
There he is!
My body was weak, but somewhere, deep inside me, I felt a different kind of strength. Something ancient.
Come on then. There's no use. He's heading towards the tent!
I ran across Newgate Street.
Stop! We're trying to help. How can he go on like this?
Within minutes, I found myself near the Victoria Embankment. My heart felt as if it was about to burst. My lungs hurt. Something inside me told me to keep going.
Wait! Stop the bridge! You stop this nonsense right now!
Blackfriars Bridge. The Thames was glittering below me like a sheet of black satin. I could see the office towers in the distance.
This is the police! Stop right now! Easy now! No one is going to hurt you.
Calm down now.
I wasn't afraid of getting hurt. I was afraid of her getting hurt. I climbed up to the ledge.
He's not going to jump.
You don't want to do that.
The lights of the city were reflecting on the dark water, deep below.
Benedict.
Her voice was like an echo in my head.
Benedict.
I knew what I had to do. I could feel it. I took one step. Just one tiny step.
What are you doing?
Help me clear off the table.
But why?
Do you want to get out of here or not?
I'm coming. Ah!
Are you all right?
My ankle. It hurts so bad.
Let me see. Oh, it's swollen. Listen to me. We're going to get out of here, and we're going to get you to a doctor.
Do you promise?
I promise. Sit down. Here. Across from me, at the table.
Ow!
Good. Now give me your hands. Both of them.
Laura?
What?
Mum told you not to do that.
Mum's not here. Give me your hands.
All right.
Close your eyes. It only works with your eyes closed.
Jimmy did as he was asked. He held his sister's hands. His fingers were shivering. He's been afraid and in pain for hours now.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Hello? Hello? Are you there? I know you can hear me. Please, help us. I want to play our game. Once for yes, twice for no. Please.
I don't...
Hello? Please? Can you hear me?
What was that?
He's here.
He?
Mr. Knock Knock. Once for yes, twice for no.
Oh my god.
Don't be scared. He's my friend, I think. Keep your eyes closed. Help me, please. Help us get out of here. Can't you help us? These people, do they want to hurt us? Mr. Knock Knock, please. Tell me. Jimmy and me. Are we going to be all right?
River Thames, 12 miles east of London, 11:36 p.m.
I staggered through the shadows like an animal. I kept to the side roads, the back alleys near the river. I was still wearing those charming green hospital clothes, now drenched in water. I must have looked like a freak. I don't know how long I'd been walking. I felt like a shadow of my former self. I couldn't explain the last 24 hours. I couldn't explain anything anymore. I had jumped off that bridge. I remember straightening my body like I'd learned in the army. And now, I was beyond exhaustion. My vision was blurred. When I heard the rifle, I instinctively raised my hands.
All right, let's have it. Who are you? What do you want?
I turned around. The man was in his 50s, disheveled, his face covered by an enormous grey beard. He had a haunted look in his eyes, and his rifle was pointed straight at me.
That's quite a welcome.
Answer my question. What do you want?
They mustn't get the key.
I'm sorry?
Don't mind her. Look at me.
The woman was skinny. Her hair was long and unkempt. She had the look of a mental patient.
Don't let them have the key.
Not now, Maggie. Go back to the others.
I think he might have it.
She raised her hand and pointed at me.
The key.
The Benedict Estate, 6:28 a.m. She was dreaming. For those few hours, at least, her mind was free. She was dreaming of her room, her house, her mum, all the things she's lost. And in her dream, she saw a man, a stranger.
Don't be afraid.
He was hunted like her. She didn't know his name, but she could feel him. It's something she's always been able to do. She could feel others. Her mind had certain powers, and sometimes they scared her. And then she was back. The here and now was reaching for her with cold and merciless fingers.
Where am I?
You've fallen asleep.
No. No, that wasn't supposed to happen.
But you did.
She often fell asleep after she talked with Mr. Knock-Knock. Talking with Mr. Knock-Knock took all her strength.
Oh, your ankle. Stay where you are. Don't move.
Oh, what are you doing?
I need rope. Any kind of rope.
There's a jump rope over there.
Perfect.
St. Anthony's Church, 12 miles east of London, 3:49 p.m.
He's waking up.
The man with the rifle had brought me to an old, cavernous church. I was overcome with exhaustion, and I needed to rest.
Ah, back from the dead, eh? Like Lazarus.
Yeah.
You were out for a few hours. We saw to your wounds. Nothing serious, thank goodness. Just a few scrapes. Would you like a brandy?
Yes, please.
It's a miracle you're alive.
Been hearing that a lot lately. I looked around. The church roof was partially caved in. Pigeons were flying through the fading afternoon sunlight. I saw a group of people huddled around a campfire in the back. They looked at me quizzically. Their faces were gaunt. My body still ached, a dull, distant feeling. But I could already feel my strength returning. There was something hiding deep inside me, just waiting to get out.
May I ask, why are you wearing hospital clothes?
Where am I?
Outside the city, near Longford. You're safe here. This is a house of God. Or it used to be, anyway. I'm sorry about the rifle. We're a little distrustful of strangers.
I can tell. Who are you people?
We're refugees, you might say.
Refugees? From what?
There's a war coming.
A war?
Maggie, see if you can find the gentleman some dry clothes, if you please.
Yes, Father Graham.
Father?
Oh, don't mind that. Here, let me help you up. Can you stand?
Yes.
Here, some trousers, a shirt, and a jacket.
Thank you. The clothes were old and ragged, but at least they were dry.
Have a seat. Careful.
I sat down at a camping table near the fire. Father Graham offered me some hot stew. You said? Something about a war.
It is all around us. Do you not feel it? We do. That's why we're here, to find safety.
What are you talking about?
I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't think you came here by accident.
There's a door, and they're looking for the key.
What key?
It's been... Some of us have been experiencing rather vivid dreams lately.
Dreams?
We've been told to gather here.
You're all here because of a dream?
You think we're mad? I can't blame you. But I assure you, we're the sane ones now. The ones who see, who feel. What happened to you, Mr. Sinclair?
Do you believe in hell?
Of course.
I've seen it, Father. I've been there. It's calling me.
It's calling each of us every day.
What do I do?
You have to walk the right path, John Sinclair. We all do.
There's been a voice in my head. Someone who needs help. Does the name Benedict mean anything to you?
Benedict? No, I'm afraid not.
Benedict! The house!
I'm sorry?
The old mansion. Just a few miles. Benedict.
Who?
Your hands are so soft, I can't believe it.
Oh, that Benedict.
I would steer clear of that place if I were you.
And why is that?
It's dangerous. They're the last of the Bathory family. Elizabeth Bathory.
I knew that name. Elizabeth Bathory. A 17th century countess. Executed for being a serial killer.
There's been reports of missing children.
Missing children?
I can feel them. They're still alive, but not much longer.
I knew then what I had to do. The right path. Thank you for your hospitality, but I have to go.
Already?
I took the old man's hands into mine and shook them. I looked at Maggie and the others. Their faces were drawn. They really did seem like refugees. Scared, hunted. They were trying to run from the coming darkness. But for me, that wasn't an option. Thank you for all that you've done.
Of course, but we've made pudding.
I think you may be right. There is a war. And someone has to fight it.
Benedict Estate, 8:32 p.m.
Patrol 1, Patrol 1. Hello? Come in, please. Roger.
Yeah. Calm yourself, will you? Everything's fine out here. Just walking the perimeter.
You're supposed to say Roger when you're done talking. Roger.
Roger.
Do it properly. Roger.
Hang on.
No, not hang on. I said...
No, I mean hang on. There's a man here.
There's a man here. Roger.
I don't know his name. He's just standing there.
What does he look like?
Tall. Dishevelled.
Probably a vagrant or something. Time to get out. I'll check the monitors.
How'd you get in? Hey, you!
Mr. Owen Avery had been the chief of security here for almost 20 years now. He's always been an exceedingly loyal employee. After all, they had hired him when no one else would. Not with his criminal record. He released the talk button on his walkie-talkie. Then he grabbed another curry-flavored crisp from the bag, shoved it into his mouth, and rolled his office chair over to the monitor bank on the other side of his office. He made sure to take the crisp bag with him.
Let's take a look.
At first, he saw nothing unusual in those grainy black and white images. An eerie light illuminated his haggard face, his long, unkempt hair. His eyes scanned the monitors. Front gate, clear. Loading dock, clear. All quiet. But then...
What's this now?
Near the eastern wall of the perimeter, half hidden by rose bushes, was a tall stranger. How did he get in here? Mr. Avery stared at the image. He saw his security man approach the stranger. Suddenly...
Oh my God!
In total silence, the stranger kicked the guard in the right side of his body, followed immediately by two swift left punches to the face. The guard staggered backward, then he fell.
That's not good.
He watched as the stranger on the monitor bent down to pick up the walkie-talkie. He looked straight at the security camera. His face was in shadow.
I'm coming for you. Roger.
They spread out. I knew that formation. My best guess, they were ex-military, like me. That made it easier. After all, I know how they think.
Be careful! Don't see him on the monitors!
Of course he didn't. I had made sure to evade the cameras when I climbed up the old oak tree. I could see them below. I waited until one of the guards was right beneath me. I grabbed him from behind, my arm around his throat. With my left, I pulled his gun from its holster. I slammed the gun against his head. The man sank to the ground, unconscious. I wasted no time. I aimed. I crouched behind a rock.
What's going on?
Now, don't you worry your pretty little head, darling. Here, let me untie you. Now, we've got to get downstairs to the chamber. Olivia, do as I say. Let me get the wheelchair.
Oh my God!
What?
Oh, it's starting! I can feel it! The contractions!
Laura had tied the jump rope to a table leg next to the door. She was holding the other end in her hand, crouching in the corner.
Someone's coming.
All right. All right, children.
Laura pulled the rope. Within seconds, Laura was on her. The girl grabbed the steak knife and blindly rammed it into the woman's leg.
Jimmy, now!
Her brother put his arm around Laura's shoulder.
Let's go!
Careful, it hurts.
We have to go.
They left the room and made their way down the corridor.
Come on! Come on!
Meanwhile, Agnes managed to pull the knife out of her leg. She could barely walk. But one thing she knew, they would not escape. She clutched the blood-covered knife.
I'll get you, my pretty.
Faster!
Oh, this is fun, is it not?
She came closer and closer.
Let's go!
They made it to the stairs. Laura could see the front door below.
Come on! Come on!
But when they reached the bottom,
There you are.
Victor Benedict. His rotund body was covered in crisp, white robes. His hands spread wide, grinning. His wife was strapped to a wheelchair. She seemed delirious from pain. But all Laura could see was the barrel of the gun Victor Benedict was holding. They led Laura and Jimmy down a hidden staircase, then into a dark, narrow corridor. At last, they reached a rusted metal door deep underneath the house.
Here we are.
The key?
Let's go.
They entered the old crypt where it had all begun, the pentagram room.
Oh my God.
Victor Benedict pushed the wheelchair into the middle of the room. The chamber was illuminated by hundreds of candles. The severed head of a calf was displayed on a small stone altar, flies buzzing around its dead eyes.
Shall we begin?
What's going on out there? Report!
Mr. Avery had watched it all go to hell. The stranger fighting his way into the house. The man moved with the precision of an elite soldier. He took care not to kill the men he shot at. He used well-placed leg shots. Mr. Avery could see it all unfold on his monitors. An eerie, gruesome display.
Hello? Report! Run! Ah!
Put your hands up and drop the crisps.
What do you want?
Agnes, the chains.
Yes, sir.
The woman named Agnes attached steel manacles to Laura and Jimmy's ankles.
No! Please! Why are you doing this?
She's going to be hungry when she wakes. Ah, here she comes.
Olivia Benedict was convulsing in pain. Something under her skin was moving.
It's coming! Our baby is coming!
Right there! Scotland Yard!
You came.
I had the man they called Avery at gunpoint. He had shown me the way, shivering with fear. What I saw inside the chamber was a nightmare image. The children were in chains. One of them, I knew her. I knew her voice.
Help us!
My God. Policeman, eh? Trespassing on my property.
Who are you?
Forgive me. I'm Victor Benedict.
The soap guy?
Yes, the soap guy. Do you know how soap is made? First you slaughter the animal, then you boil down its fat.
Charming.
We see beauty as a sign of a healthy life, a well-lived life. But life demands sacrifices. My ancestor was killed 400 years ago.
Elizabeth Báthory.
Indeed. And tonight, you're going to witness a rebirth. My wife and I were never blessed with children, so I decided to embark on a different journey. She's going to live again.
I had made a mistake. I had allowed myself to get distracted. I turned around, but I was too late. Avery whirled around and grabbed my gun. He pressed it against my temple.
I've got him now, boss!
Fine. Well then, let's do this. We call on you, O Prince of Darkness. Accept our offerings.
Suddenly, the little girl leapt forward. As far as her chains allowed her, it was far enough. She scratched at his eyes. There was no time to waste. I rammed my elbow into Avery's stomach. He doubled over. I grasped the handgun and aimed it at Benedict. I put 3 bullets into the King of Soap. His white robes were stained with blood.
The baby!
I turned around. Something was clawing at the woman from inside, eating her. She looked right at me. Time slowed down. I thought of my mother, lying in that hospital bed all those years ago, her body ravaged by cancer. I was 14 then. I had stolen a rifle from my father's gun cabinet and snuck it into the hospital. But I couldn't do it. She had wanted to go on her terms, not mine. But this poor woman. I raised my gun. Her pain was over. But the thing inside her, I could see it moving. I aimed my gun. It seemed to have no effect. Her stomach suddenly burst open.
The devil's daughter!
I saw a skinless hand. Its blood-covered muscles were glistening in the candlelight. The bony limbs were unfolding like the legs of an insect. The thing was clawing its way out of the dead body. Elizabeth Báthory. The creature rose to its feet. It was a woman, of sorts, but she had no skin on her body. She was scarlet red. Every muscle, every piece of sinew lay exposed. Her eyeballs were moving inside her red skull. I turned to look at Avery. His hair had turned white. He had gone mad. The creature grasped the woman. Her red hands were merciless. She tore out her throat with her teeth. Then she dropped the twitching corpse. She lifted her head. She sniffed the air. Elizabeth looked at the little girl like a snake staring at a mouse. I raised my gun. The bullets bore into the creature. She was thrown off track, but only for a moment. A red nightmare skull turned to look at me. I threw myself forward, right at the creature. I tried to land a punch, but she caught my wrist. Her eyeballs bore into me. Her gaze was hypnotic. Her strength was extraordinary. It was hard to get a grasp on it. My body, my hands and feet, everything was covered in her blood. She was stronger than me. Her bloody hands were around my throat. My legs gave in. She was squeezing harder and harder. I could feel the darkness. My strength was slipping. My limbs felt cold. But then something happened that I couldn't explain. I could see something in her eyes. Something like fear. She turned to look at the little girl. And the girl was grinning.
I can feel your mind.
Feel this.
I don't know where the wind came from. It rose suddenly, whirling about the dead leaves inside the chamber. The creature grasped her own head. Whatever it was in her, inside her head. And then, her skinless head cracked open. From inside, I had never seen anything like this. Her red skull burst like an eggshell. Her body collapsed. I pushed the hellish creature off me. I looked at the girl. She was kneeling by her brother.
Laura! Jimmy!
She held his little body in her arms. I walked over and put my hands around her shoulders.
He'll make it. I promise.
The door was kicked in. We both looked up. They looked like soldiers. They were in combat formation. Riot gear, helmets, assault rifles. One person in the middle appeared to be their commander.
Who are you people?
The leader took off his helmet. Or rather, hers. It was a woman. She was, I must say, rather beautiful. East Indian would be my guess. Her rich curls played around her face. And then she pulled her gun. A large silver-plated magnum.
What? What are you doing?
She just smiled at me. And then, she aimed her magnum straight at me.
No!
John Sinclair, Demon Hunter, Episode 7, A Long Day in Hell. Audio movie by Gabriel Conroy, based on the original novel by Jason Dark. John Sinclair was played by Andrew Wincott, the narrator by Anthony Scordi, Dr. Ralph Barlow was played by Neil Dudgeon, Laura Cody by Claire Louise Connolly, and Jimmy Cody by Max First. Victor Benedict was played by Steve First, Olivia Benedict by Suzanne Cave, Agnes by Nicolette Mackenzie, Elizabeth Bartori by Ali Dowling, Father Graham by Neil McCall, and Maggie was played by Colleen Prendergast. Joe Hastings was played by Matt Littler, Ed Wilbur by Ashley Margoley, EMT by Harriet Kershaw, and the policeman was played by Rob Rackstraw. The nurses were played by Leanne Rose Bunce and Milena Rose Binks. The guards were played by Dan Mersch, Eric Myers, and Glenn McCready, and the women were voiced by Harriet Carmichael, Alex Gulf, and Alex Wilton Regan. This was recorded between December 2015 and March 2016 at OMUK Studios London and Iglo Music Los Angeles. The recording engineers were Juan Manuel Delfin in London and Jay Markovitz in LA. The voice director was Douglas Welbat. The creative director was Patrick Simon, and the casting consultant was Victoria Prentice. The executive producer was Mark Zieper. Post-production took place at Ear to Brain Productions. A Basti Entertainment production, all rights reserved.